Black Gold, Texas tea.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Webinar Wednesday with P&P Oil and Gas Solutions. My name is Chris Pettigrew. I am the president and owner of P&P Oil and Gas Solutions. Thank you for tuning in and joining in on another Wednesday to learn a little bit more about technology and land and back office. And so just have some fun today on Wednesday, September 16th, 2020. The past couple of weeks, we've been talking about the Intellese Lease Analyzer powered by Grouper. A couple of weeks before, we did some Land Pro training. I talked about tracks so far. And today, we're going to delve into the Intellese Lease Analyzer powered by Grouper a little bit more. They have launched out a couple more modules that would affect a lease packet that I want to show everybody today. And so we're going to kind of go over a little bit about what they do and how to access the software itself. The software from Intellese is a web-based software. So there is no need to install softwares on your local machines or go through firewalls or IT. It's literally all web-based. So let's kind of get into that a little bit and take a look. So here we have the actual Intellese website, and you can see that their main focus is to identify, gather, and extract information using machine learning, artificial intelligence, and expertise. And so taking physical records to digital data and distributed data sets into cohesive reports. Really making the data easy, right? That's what this whole thing is all about. Everything that they do is really all about just assisting human beings in doing their daily tasks easier and more efficient. Some of the services that they do offer is they can digitize your documents for you, extract your data, and then run reports into dashboards. It's not a very complicated website, really, really simple. Intellese does work in more than just oil and gas, but since this is an oil and gas webinar, we will stick with the oil and gas situation. And then a couple of different things that they do, APM voice automation, upstream, midstream, and downstream. So we can take a look at like the APM voice automation stuff. And you can see that the same type of behaviors are being pulled because we're using the Grouper platform to take invoices and extract data from those invoices, accounts payable, and make that life a little bit easier as well. So there will be, from what I'm hearing, an accounts payable analyzer coming out. But these are some services that Intellese can provide now on an ad hoc basis without the analyzer. But the analyzer will, from what I hear, will be coming out soon for midstream, accounting, and a couple of other different parts of the oil and gas business. Just kind of going back and taking a look at their upstream, midstream, and downstream situations. If you haven't seen this video yet, please go log on to the Intellese YouTube channel and take a look. It's a great video. And you can see that they're working in all kinds of different parts of land, division orders, lease data sheets, mineral ownership reports. And this is what's pretty cool is we're actually going to cover some of these today. I got a sneak preview of the oil and gas lease packet analyzer, and it's going to cover a couple more things than just the oil and gas lease that I think are very valuable to landmen, land technicians, lease analysts. And so I'm excited to kind of show that, the extraction from things like mineral ownership reports as well. And then the row analyzer that's coming pretty soon, right-of-way easement, surface use agreements. It does functionalize in that area, and they do have a row analyzer coming out as well. And of course, we have the oil and gas lease analyzer powered by Grouper. All of it's powered by Grouper. Intellese teamed up with Grouper, and they created a pretty cool tool for us in the upstream business. And then, of course, getting to the lease analyzer itself, being able to understand that, using the lease analyzer, since I've done my first demo and have talked to some companies that are on this picture here, they've been, we really started to realize what you can do with this thing. And at the end of the day, Intellese has sat down, and there might be a couple names missing from this. I would say the mineral companies like Mineralware, MineralSoft. I think they covered about all the oil and gas land systems that are out there, unless you're maybe a little smaller or you got a custom vision. Peloton, I know it's kind of new to the game, so I'm trying to share with them some information for myself as well. But the cool thing about the lease analyzer is that it exports great quality data into your system of record. This is not meant to replace your system of record. This is not meant to become a third-party tool to ask questions of. I mean, you can do that within the lease analyzer, but really the best thing that you can do is clean your data up, make sure it looks real good using the analyzer, and then import that data into your system. At that point in time, you go to your system and you ask it for how many of them have a vertical pew. You go to your system and you ask your system how many leases have a consent to assign. It's very important that we use our land systems as they're meant to be our data banks and our control factors. So the old adage, garbage in, garbage out, still runs today. But with the lease analyzer, less garbage, almost zero garbage, is really what we're going for here. So kind of talking that through is, not only are you able to analyze leases on the fly, get the information out, take a look at it on the fly, but also exports all these different softwares that are on here. So if you're using any of these softwares, shout out to me, chris.p@ppogs.com. I'll be more than happy to talk with you about functionality, information, whatever it may be that you have questions about. It's pretty simple. Some of you have seen the videos that are out there. There's not really much to explain with the lease analyzer, and right now they're offering a 14-day free trial consultation. You get up to 10 leases extracted. This is a subscription pricing. I mean, they're pretty straightforward with the pricing. I like the fact that it's right out there for us. So if I wanted to buy an analyzer tool, it would be $99 a month. It's web-based, no software to install. You get the oil and gas lease analyzer. You would want to buy prepaid blocks of pages. We'll talk about that here in a second. You can extract XLSX or CSV spreadsheet and export and import into your land system. No contract from Intellese as well. They don't make you sign a contract. If you wanted to buy a month license, you can buy a month license. You buy your page block, you run your data, and you turn it off and you move on to the next project. The best deal they got going on right now is the $2,000 or $1,999 annual subscription. In this case, you end up getting 2 months included, so you're really only paying for 10 months. Again, web-based, no software to install. This one also gives you 1,000 pages, so you get 1,000 free pages up front, and $1 per page after that, which is a pretty good significant discount, up to 100,000 pages sold in blocks of 1,000. And then by signing the annual, you also get another discount when you cross over 100,000 pages to 90 cents, which is pretty phenomenal when I show you the actual block pricing. So again, extract to XLSX or to CSV, export and import into your system of record, your land system, no contract. And on the annual, we'll talk with you, Intellese will talk with you about the volume page pricing that they may have available if you have, just lots of paper. You buy your blocks prepaid, so 1 to 10,000 pages minimum purchase is 125 pages. So at $250 plus $99, so $350, you are in with 125 pages. You can start running leases, start extracting data. The big one here, you get into $1.50 as you go higher, 10,001 to 100,000. So notice when you buy that annual, you actually get a deal. You're getting the deal of up to 100,000 pages for $1, which is half off the prepaid $2 a page. Takes you really into the 100,000 page to a million page marker, but then gives you a 90 cents per pass 100,000, so you actually get a better deal. You save 10 more cents per page. But again, straightforward pricing. You can't just go on here and just click it and get your sign on. There's a consultation to it. From what I understand, Intellese will you fill out the form right up here, and you're able to take that over. Intellese will get in contact with you. They'll consult with you on what your project is, what you want to do. Are you an independent landman that wants to run some Permian Basin leases? Are you a mineral owner that has thousands of leases? Are you an oil and gas company that has thousands of leases in different areas in different states? All those questions will be validated with you prior to the 14-day free consultation. And then during that 14-day free consultation, Intellese will work with you on modifying the model, creating it better, seeing what the kind of extractions happen right off the back. And then hopefully at the end of that, you end up buying it, and you've got a cool new tool for you to use as a lease analyzer. So over the weekend, Intellese has really been kind of launching up. So this is the website right here, Intellese.com. You can go directly to the oil and gas lease analyzer from the front page. And so here's pretty much the gist of it. From what I understand, to run the lease analyzer, you're going to go, once you fill out your contact information, Intellese will send you back information to log into the document portal. And on this document portal, you're going to get a sign-on. And I recently just got my sign-on for right here, and I'm going to go ahead and use this. And so now I have my Intellese Cloud portal. We're going to go ahead and log in. This is a master account because I am using an administrative functions helping them. But I would just go in here to my documents, and I would start to load up my leases. So you just drop your leases into the Intellese Cloud. Intellese will send you an email letting you know that so right there, we went from Intellese.com directly into the Intellese Cloud, and that's where you're going to deliver your documents for Intellese Lease Analyzer to be able to analyze your leases and/or lease packet, or pretty soon whatever kind of document that we can come up with, especially in the oil and gas back office land admin situation that we're going to be able to show. And I got a little sneak preview for you guys here today, so I'm going to open up the lease analyzer, but the Intellese Cloud is ready to go. It's a real simple functioning situation. You'll be shown how to use it, where to drop your information. Basically, once you drop it in, everything gets auto-processed by midnight the same day. So you'll get an email around midnight that says we're processing your data. It also gives you an opportunity to add more data, remove data, change data, whatever you need to do up to midnight of that particular day that you upload. Now, once you get the data over to Intellese, they're going to send you out a notification that they've received everything and start through the process of artificial intelligence and data extraction to get back the data review process to through the analyzer to the analysts, so they can go through and validate, understand, look at, to make sure it's correct. And then after that, once you complete the task, everything comes back into the cloud, and Intellese will export to a CAM template that we've all agreed upon for free, or we will export into your land systems template, which we have to work a little bit with. So there's some custom programming maybe, or custom consulting work that needs to be done. And then we also have data analytics at Intellese. They're able to help you out with data analytics and help you gather your data together. We're going to kind of get into that a little bit today on what data analytics really means and what it looks like to pull information from not only an oil and gas lease, but also pulling it from other information within the lease packet. And I'm really excited to kind of show that today. So the cloud's right here, pretty simple. Upload your docs, it's ready to go, and Intellese will deliver everything back to you through the cloud. So it's really even borrowing your documents. You're not, you're copying them onto the cloud, so you still retain ownership. We're just running all the extractors and AI against it to give you back data, and at the end of the day, you'll get back super OCR, super extracted documents that you can supplement, and then they will have all of the OCR features built in as well. So like the good boy I am, I'm going to log out of my system because that's something that I've always been taught to do. Again, the Intellese cloud, how do you get there? Intellese.com, and then you'll be able to actually functionally click on the document portal, okay? So again, you want to go with the analyzer. You're interested in the analyzer. One more time, you're going to go to Intellese.com, click on the Lease Analyzer powered by Grouper. We're going to fill out the Get More Info. Once you get more info, we will Intellese will contact you, and they will set up your 14-day free trial consultation. During that consultation, they will talk to you about your properties, prospects, leases, what kind of documents you have, what you want to get out of it, what are your goals, and then start to work with you on that. And then 14 days, if you don't like what's happening, you cancel it, no contract, or you can move into the monthly or annual subscription behavior. Again, no contract on any of this stuff. So if you don't like it, kick it to the curb, keep your data, and thank you for trying out the cool new tool that I think is just a huge game changer. Huge game changer in the area. So let's kind of do a little bit of data review on the oil and gas lease analyzer one more time. We went over the pricing, we went over the price box per page. Now these are prepaid credits, so you would buy prepaid pages to be able to run through. It's very important to be ready to go and that the system has its ability to run all of your documents. So a quick little overview of the Grouper dashboard. We talked about the execute. This is where when you upload information, you're going to go through the execute, remove link, the content, image processing, recognizing the document, separating, classify, extracting, and then we always end up in the data review in the analyzer. So in this case, let's kind of go back and look at the first one we did, and then we'll get into some more information on some newly released or about to be released data models that are going to affect the lease packet. I'm really excited to see what Intellese does with all this stuff and is able to actually create land data from land boxes instead of just going with the prior operator's data, trusting that those analysts did everything correct, and then loading that as a data conversion into your system, which then usually causes a lot of cleanup and or investigation as to why analyst one did what she did. So nevertheless, starting back through here, we had the oil and gas lease analyzer. Just a quick run through. What we learned last time is, it changes dates over. It's able to pull, and you can see the confidence ratings that you're able to see there. Lease confidence 100%. Here we didn't get an expiration date, so we filled it in. You'll notice this lease today as we continue to talk about Joe Johnson lease. Joe Johnson is the lease packet that we developed to gather more information from. So pretty awesome situation there. And I think you're going to see the correlation between why I'm showing you this lease and taking you to the other demo that we have, that we can actually show some other extractions and put together some of the oil and gas mineral information to formulate our own data set, okay? So in this case, you have the lease, and we're reading the lease, and we're pulling the information. We want this to be all perfect, so we're spell checking it. We're checking out the legal descriptions, and of course, we're going through the provisions themselves and deciding to keep the entire paragraph, load a note, maybe a note summary of the provision, maybe an acronym that your company uses to tell you something. Whatever it may be, please, feel free to change it and make it yours. That's the beauty of the lease analyzer. It's my favorite thing. is that I am in control at all times. The only thing I have to not be in control of is when I drop my documents into the Dropbox or the cloud system. But I use Dropbox, I use Box, I use SharePoint. I've had great times with them. Honestly, it's probably saved my butt more times by having those systems than by not having them at all. And so, at the end of the day, the tool is still blowing my mind. I think it's an amazing tool. The data it's able to capture, what it's able to do, splitting things out and bringing it to the forefront where you're not having to read through all of the provisions all at once. And then also at the same time, being able to capture, look for, test the AI and data extraction, whether they're right or wrong, and where they feel that maybe that note should not be the entire paragraph. The analyst has control. So, this isn't you're taking our jobs behavior. This is just like adding a land system to the landman or lease analyst that used to use the 3x5 cards compared to the Commodore 64 or the IBM green screen that was allowed to start taking lease information. So I'm going to take the last bit of our webinar today, and I want to show off some other new cool tools that Intellese has been working on with Grouper. Being able to look at other documents that are inside of a lease packet. So not just the oil and gas lease analyzer powered by Grouper, but the oil and gas lease packet analyzer, which is phenomenal. And I think an amazing tool that we have out there. So in the last 15 minutes of our webinar today, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump right into this thing. And this is a single lease packet that you'll notice is the same lease as Joe E. Johnson Jr. So a couple things about this lease packet. Number one, shout out to my boys, Genesis Land and Mineral Resources over off of Louetta Road in Spring, Texas. I've known Don Hebner and the Genesis crew for over 20 years of my life. They do wonderful land and midstream work. If you need land done, you need minerals found, you contact Genesis Land and Minerals, and you talk to Don Hebner, and he'll take care of you. Very, very smart, always good quality work. Now, at the time, Genesis was using iLandman, so this is an extraction of a lease purchase report built by iLandman. What I think is really cool about this is that how many times do we get boxes of information and we have the LPRs inside of them, we have lease data sheets, we have MORs, we have checks, we have all this supplemental documentation that's very important and can actually kind of bring full circle what everything is. So with the lease analyzer alone, you can get the tract legal and you can get the gross acres, but you can't get the net acres because net acres don't exist in an oil and gas lease. You can get all the provisions. You can even handwrite how you want your provisions in there. Do you have something to compare that to make sure that you covered all the provisions or maybe even special obligations? Are there dates and times that things need to be done? So the lease purchase reports or lease data sheets or MORs that are coming out of these systems can literally, you could do, if it was vetted, you could do a Excel extract from the LDS LPR and create a land system. So for this one, it was able to pull up the project information, Belton Lane, the file number of itself, which is number 120, and we can take a look and see, what is that confidence, 100%. We know that the tract ID is tract number 303.12. We know the owner is Joe E. Johnson. It's tied to an OGL. It's in Belton Lane. The instrument date, the effective date, it's a 3-year. All the same information that I was kind of typing in the other analyzer. If we were to do it as a lease packet analyzer, you could copy and paste this data into your lease data and then combine and look at your lease data on the outside from the exports and find out how you're going to upload your leases into your land system. If you're a lease-based system, then you don't require tracking. And so at that point in time, our Intellese just blows it out the water. It goes right into the system. However, it also goes right in the system very well, a track-based system. So this is where and why we want to pull things like this, because it helps us discern and disseminate what is good and what really is not good, okay? So what is the landman saying to us? He's saying that it's covered by all depths. It's a 3-year lease. The expiration date is in 2016. There's a $325 amount per acre. They cut the extension check at $11,901.66 from Legends. We're able to pull up the form, the royalty BPO, the royalty APO, just in case there was an after payout or before after payout. Things get interesting. But this is my favorite part of it more than anything else is, number one, I got the gross acres, and I'm able to actually see those gross. Now, I saw the gross acres in the Intellese lease analyzer powered by Grouper, but what I didn't see is the net acres. So now I have net acres that I can import into my system. When I combine my spreadsheets from packet to packet into the import module or directly into your system or directly out to your CSV or Excel template if you don't have a system, and you're able to track all the information right now. So by having this LPR analyzer built in, I'm now able to get more information and add it to my lease setup, so that way when I fill my land system, it is filled appropriately and how it's supposed to be filled. So I really, really, really like that. The bonus per acre again is repeated because it's in the bonus information area. Is this lease paid up? Yes. What is the royalty? And you can see it actually pulled the royalty. So here's a section. What survey is it in? It's in the Charles Wilcox A303, and the SAS acreage is 36.6205, which is based on her half interest, I believe. So we kind of get down here in the chain of title, grantor, grantee chain of title, and you can see the information. 73241 out of 301 total acres. Joe Johnson. That's actual tract number, sorry. So 72241 out of. And so you can gather more things like the social security tax ID, the spouse's name, comment, surface, minerals, royalties acquired, homestead, oil and gas, surface net interest, oil and gas mineral net, oil and gas executive. There's tons of stuff. I mean, really anything that we could do. So if you are an iLandman user or you bought something that was used in iLandman, call Intellese, get the analyzer, let them run through your boxes and give you back the data that the data was set in the boxes for. Give you back the real data that somebody pushed out of the system to compare back to see if you have the same data, both on the lease purchase reports and on the extract from the lease analyzer itself. Not only is it pulling, everything from the LPR, it's pulling it all. So in this case, what we have here is we have conditions and service restrictions. It says there's a favored nation, it's included. Here's the note that it extracted from the landman. So this is all previously created, ready to go on the fly stuff. And we're able to take this and compare it back to whether we found a force majeure or whether we found horizontal pooling or whether we found vertical pooling. So really, at this point in time, kind of just looking through and seeing, what kind of information we have. This one says there's a 30-day notice to assignment, but it's not really. It's just notice to change an operator, prompt notice for assignment. So 30-day notice, it's not really a notice of assignment. So we'll see what we picked up versus what the landman picked up. Other service restriction, yes, $5,000. I remember seeing that one. And then again, you have all your contact information. Who is this person? It's Joey Johnson Jr. This one we put Johnson Jr., comma, Joey. You can see it there. You can see his address. You can see a mineral interest. More. It just keeps going. And then the actual legal description from the contract legal description or the iLandman kickout that will show the same legal description as in the lease with the 303.12. So now if you're trying to map and you're trying to get out these legal descriptions to your mapper, you could go pull these legals and put them in spreadsheets with the ID number and then go give them to your mapper to start making you polygons for polygons that you didn't have before. You know, at this point in time, you're starting to kill the two birds with one stone. So what I really like about this is that we started off with the LPR, and then classification is something else I really want to talk about, and what the Intellese lease analyzer are doing in Powered by Grouper. So this is a divider page that was provided by PNP Land Service at the time, and it was the old way of kind of dividing out the information in the lease package. You open it up and you flip the payments and you flip the wells and you flip to assignment and lease, and you're able to kind of navigate within the document. 2020, we don't navigate within documents very often, so now we're going to be navigating virtually. Again, you'll see where it says divider, a divider will pop up. So it's classifying it as a divider. It's classifying the right thing as a plat map. This is a plat map. So one of the things that Intellese asked me is, what do you want from this, Chris? And I said, well, I'd really like to know this information. I said, well, that's on the LPR. Okay. Well, I'd really like to know, you know, maybe about what the track number is. And he goes, oh, you know, that's on the LPR. So you're going to get a lot of information from the lease purchase report, but however, it did identify it as a plat map. So here we have a memorandum, and it did identify it as a memorandum. You're going to see it pop up, and it's going to have a memorandum there. They got a little bit more work to do as far as gathering the information. I kind of got on to about the recording, gathering some more information from the memo itself. But let's take a look at the lease. And, you know, again, this is the same thing we were doing the other day. Here we are with Johnson Jr., and we have our double comma, and let's go see down here about the assignment clause and see if it said that there's a notice to assignment or if it's just a standard, you know, if you change your address, let us know. So kind of looking at down here, let's see here. Got a lot of clauses inside of it. Also taking a look at some of the other provisions that this has pulled. So the cool part about this is that you're able to actually take the comparison of, you know, what the Intellese lease analyzer is saying it should be, and then also comparing that back to the lease purchase report in itself. And so we'll click back to the LPR real quick, and it's going to take us back to some of that lease data. And so I'm going to come down here to this one, and I think I saw the assignment, notice to assign yes. And so that was in the lease. So now let's go take a look at the lease, and we're going to try to find a notice to assignment. And here we are. Assignability. So this has a notice of change of operator, but nothing about the assignment itself. So we have a contradiction between our LPR and our oil and gas lease. And that's the point. That's the point. Take out your oil and gas lease data, take out your LPR data, take out your MOR data. We're getting a little close to the end of our webinar, and I do want to show the MOR as well. We've extracted lots of information. This is a Genesis Land and Minerals iLandman mineral ownership report. And so we can see what we pulled in here is the tracking number. We can match that. We can pull the legal description. We can even see where we pulled Anna Catherine Bennett and our guy Joe Johnson Jr. 50%. And what do they own? 50%. Here's even a phone number, mineral owner net acres, name, mineral owner less lease, the lease number 120. And we even have some stuff in here like mineral ownership term, 3 years. It's a paid up 25% royalty, covers all depths. And then it even gets down here to the surface owners. We want to see who owns in what part of the surface, so that can be extracted as well. So Intellese is really starting to come out with some great data extractions for the oil and gas lease and land department. Further than just the lease analyzer itself, I think we're going to be seeing an oil and gas lease packet 1 coming out here pretty soon. I know they're also working on a division order module, tax document module, and then also, of course, the right-of-way surface use and easement module as well. That's been our webinar for today. It has been a lot of fun talking to everybody. For those of you that have joined in, thank you for joining in. For those of you that are going to be watching on our YouTube channel, thanks for watching the video. I'm really excited to show the Intellese Lease Analyzer and more. I'm very excited to show about the MOR, the LPR, pulling information. I mean, you could do a data conversion from a lease data sheet from a land system. I don't recommend it. It's a real quick way to go about things. However, and the reason why I don't recommend it is we saw the assignability clause being a little bit different. But one thing out of many is not a real huge idea in the grand scope of things. So really cool stuff coming from Intellese, powered by Grouper. They have some really great tools for the oil and gas land administrator, land tech lawyer, land manager, landman, VP of land, business development and land. If you do land, get out there, call Intellese today, pick up the analyzer tool. There's more coming out that they're talking about for different businesses and different parts of the business. So thank you everybody for joining me on our webinar Wednesday at PMP Oil and Gas Solutions. Again, my name is Chris Pettigrew, and peace, love, and happiness to everybody out there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.